Hi, in this video I'd like to show you how you can create your trip and the shipment details manually for your eManifest submissions. So once you've logged into your truck account, under the trips you have an option to create your new trip. So select trip maintenance new, and the first thing you would need to do is to create the trip information. So starting with the carrier code, you can go ahead and start typing, or you could also use the drop down option to select the relevant carrier code or the SCAC code. And then once you've selected your SCAC code, you would also need to select your arrival date as well as the arrival port. So you have drop down options with different arrival ports, or you can just go ahead and start typing. So for example, Mesa, and the trip type would be regular. And then you would also need to provide truck trailer driver information, so you can select from the drop down if you can find it from the database, or if it's not there, you could select the plus sign and then start adding your conveyance information here. And then once you've done with that, you can go ahead and click save to save it to the database. But if you find it from the drop down, you can go ahead and just select from the drop down options as well here. And the same goes for the driver. If it's not in the database, you can always click the plus sign to add the driver information as well. And then if you have any seal numbers that you'd like to add, you can also do that under the equipment here. And then once you've done with that, and then you can also basically input the shipment details manually. Here you have the shipment type, so there are different options under the shipment type. You can select inbound, it might be immediate transport, personal effects, or section 321 for example. And then if you have the entry number, you can input the entry number. And then you'd also need to input the shipment control number here, and you need to make sure that you haven't used these numbers before for at least 3 years. Then you need to also provide the shipper details, and you can select from the database if you saved some shipper information. If you haven't, you can click the plus sign to add the shipper details here. And then if you want to save it to the database, you can go ahead and click save to save it to the database. And then you can also select the port of lading here. So for example, I can just use the port of lading, and then the same goes for consignee. If you have it saved, you can select from the drop down. If not, you can just click the plus sign to add the consignee details. Then you would also need to provide the commodity details. So for example, you need to provide the description, quantity, unit of measure for the quantity. So for example, I can select pieces, gross weight, it can be kilos or pounds, and then HTS code. I guess this is not required for this one. And then the value and the country of origin here. So for example, I can select China here. And then once you've done with that, you can go ahead and save it. And so now trip and shipment details will be saved, and you will see them shortly. So now you see your trip details as well as the shipment details. Once you're ready to submit, you can go ahead and click send to submit to CBP, and then once it's been accepted by CBP, you can go ahead and click the receipt to download your cover sheet, and your driver can use this cover sheet to cross the border. It will have the barcode, trip information, as well as total number of shipments. And then if you would like to delete this trip and you haven't submitted it, you could always click delete to delete this trip as well. So that's all for this video. Hopefully you found it useful, and thanks very much for watching.